Welcome back. It is Workshop Wednesday. I am Laurie Graham, the VP of Operations for the Home Staging and Redesign Alliance, and I have my very good friend Timothy on today.
Hi.
Listen up, people. You're going to want to take some notes. You're going to want to pay attention because if you are a stager or interior designer, you're going to want to hear about this today. So welcome, Timothy.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
So glad. I've been waiting for the opportunity to have this conversation with you because you have literally created a amazing program, product,
Thank you.
platform that has solutions for our industry. So we're going to talk about that. But first, let's just dive in and tell everyone a little about you and your history up until now. What have you been doing in your career and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, you guys have coffee because it's going to be a while. Yeah, so I started my entrepreneurship at age 13, very, very young age. And from there, I won't get detailed into that component, but went off to college in 2008. So a couple of weeks prior to going off to college, I started designing with my aunt in Tampa, Florida. And I just fell in love with design. So right after I did a project with my aunt, I went into interior design for college. Did that for, oh gosh, 13 years. And in April 2020, so not too long ago, we started developing with for Indema. And that came about just simply because I was looking to shift my career inside the industry. So that's kind of a short little history.
All right. Well, that was like
Yeah.
definitely worth, having the coffee and all of that. So, okay.
Right?
So you're like a genius. You started at 13. That's amazing. I
13.
feel like the
Yeah.
older I get, the younger generation's getting and starting their career. Like another
Yeah.
Floridian, Joseph Sip, he started his home staging company when he was, I think, 16,
Yep.
literally having to get out of class to go take staging calls and getting in trouble and stuff like that. He has since built
Uh,
that up to a 6 or 7 figure business, sold that off, and now he's doing real estate. So amazing.
exactly.
These young people are so amazing. So what brought you at what point and first, like what brought you to creating Indema? And then let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a weird thing. So when I was tired of actual designing, it was kind of trying to figure out what my next move is, right? I had actually sold another tech platform in April of 2020. So when I sold that platform, having dipped my feet into, technology, since I was a designer, I had no idea what technology was or how to develop a platform or anything like that. Dipping my feet into there, I was like, what can I do next with this knowledge that I have? And I started looking at, the past 12 years at the time, what was like the most thing that I encountered that made me unsuccessful as a designer. And I looked at a lot of things. I looked at, my business process and my, the clients I got, and it ultimately came down to my organization and how horrible it was. So then I took that information. I was like, well, what can I do to help other designers become organized so that they're not as unsuccessful as I felt that I was in my 12 years as designing. And really just Indema came about, creating a project management tool and looking at what's out there and what the other platforms lack and what I can do to really just take this, to a whole different level, coming into a whole different world of technology that interior designers are getting into. So that's kind of, how that whole thought process really started, and the rest just happened. It just fell into place.
I'm not gonna lie, when you're saying technology, all I could think of was Kip from Napoleon Dynamite when he has his little song he sings, I love technology. However, it is funny that most, at least in my experience,
Mhm.
most stagers are creative, and that
Mhm.
usually equals unorganized, right? So
Mhm.
there are a few. Like, obviously, in order to be a tech guy that's building out
Yeah.
a platform that organizes designers and home stagers' lives for them,
Mhm.
basically, their staging and design life for them, then you have to have that side of the brain that's very organized. So
Of
there is
course, of
a
course.
few diamonds in the rough in our industry that are more on that side. And thank God for them. Thank God for you for building out this program. So now let's talk
Yeah.
about what the program does. I was so excited when one of our HSRA members, Sue Ann, she referred you to us. We have had
Mhm.
multiple meetings and conversations. We've definitely solidified our partnership with you. And so Tell us about this program and how it can change the life of anyone in the design or home staging industry.
Yeah, so interior design as like an industry is really one of the slowest to adopt to digital technology. If you really think about traditional interior design, a lot of older designers still even draw with their hands. And now finally we're seeing a really, really massive adoption to digital technology coming into the industry. And really, up until now, there hasn't been a single platform that handles everything we do. Now, if you look at everything that we do as designers, we're not only creatives, but we also have to be business owners, right? So there's client communication, there's task management, there's project management, there's invoicing, estimates, there's managing products, there's managing the finance component. There's like I think like 15 different things I can think of that we have to handle on a day-to-day basis, to make sure that everything's flowing correctly. And so think of Indema as a centralized or unified tool that handles all of that, that is able to have everything in one centralized place, so that way you don't have to have 6, 7, 8 different platforms that really ultimately don't talk to each other. And even then, if you do have 6, 7, 8 platforms, you have to buy another platform to make those talk together, like Zapier, for example. So I would say, in short, we're just an all-in-one tool, in the truest sense of an all-in-one tool that marries multiple different processes and tools, so that way you have everything in one unified platform.
So starting with like, let's just think, okay, I know your main background is interior design, but this
Mhm.
product is perfect. We've walked through it. Our staging company is going to be using it. We have walked through it. And so it is perfect for staging as well, project man. So from the very beginning, entering client, getting contact, ordering
Mhm.
product, emails, follow up. What else am I missing? I know I'm missing a ton because the walkthrough is so extensive.
It was like a whole hour, and we even get some like longer walkthroughs depending on the specifics that a design firm needs. Yeah, there's a lot. There's lead management, there's vendor management. We just introduced social media management into the platform not too long ago. We're getting into, because of Jill, we're getting into integrating with HubSpot to kind of marry those two. The capabilities of what we do are really endless, and we're always looking for better ways to help you guys grow, and looking for better ways to really help you guys become organized and not discombobulated like I was.
No, I think it's amazing. And I know when we went through it, I just thought like this really helps one, organize, two,
Mhm.
visualize, and have everything in one spot. And we know
Yep.
like we can't have everything. I mean, even though it's our goal, there's always going to be something
Yeah.
that pops up that like, oh, we haven't gotten there yet, or we're working on that.
Yeah.
But it does house a lot of things together. If you had to say, if somebody asked you, or I'm clearly asking you, what is the biggest problem that Indema solves for the designer or home stager? What would that be?
Wow. Organization. I mean, if you really think about the tools that you use right now, what's the reason you use them? It's to become organized, right? It's to have to know where things are, what moving parts there are. And so if there's one word to describe what we do, it's organization. It's having the ability to manage those clients and leads and vendors and tasks and time management, time billing, all in one place, so you don't have to worry about using like so many tools and worrying about connecting them and creating spreadsheets to connect them and all this stuff. So I would say, yeah, organization at the end of the day.
I heard in my stager brain, the one thing I was all ding, 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 time management. That
Yeah.
is so important. At HSRA, we teach, train, and coach home staging businesses you to build 6 and 7 figure businesses. And one of the
Mhm.
big problems in home staging is time management, right? And we're constantly trying to find new ways to track time management, how to make sure that everybody's working, and are we charging enough to cover the even just the simple labor of staging a home, right?
Mhm.
Where that's a little bit different than interior design, right? So if we're backed up because we don't know which furniture's on our truck, so we get to a home, we start unloading the furniture and we're missing pieces, that is stopping up our time. Now our
Yeah.
logistics team has to go back to the warehouse or go get that piece. Now that is time that has been wasted, and they're getting paid a per hour wage, right? And what if you're in a home and you think you're only going to be in there for an hour, but it's really 2 hours, and now you're bidding that job off of a 1 hour time frame when you're actually spending 2 hours in the house. You're not charging enough. And that in the staging industry, I know not in the design industry, but specifically in the staging industry, there is a poverty mindset. So many of our home stagers have started their staging business as a side hustle or a side job. They just kind of dip their toes into it, and then all of a sudden they get to a point where they're real, they have clients and they have all kinds of stuff. They're starting to get a warehouse and whatever, but they're still using the pricing strategy of this being a side hustle. And so when you can track your productivity and how long things are taking and job costing and all of that, then you can really truly see what your value is, because so many times our stagers don't see, one, just to be honest, they know that it's valuable, but do they really see the value in themselves as a stager and a business owner and what the value is of what they provide? So to me, that was a big one. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, stagers need that. And then obviously tasking team members and knowing where everything is at, where it's going. I think that was really huge too when we walked through it. And so I'm really excited that Sue Ann introduced us. I'm so excited to have this product for our staging industry. I'm really excited that Jill's getting you hooked up with HubSpot, because we're also partnered with HubSpot. But for those of you that are right now, like, who do you think from you the ideal client is for your product, your platform?
That's such a loaded question. I mean, we have, yeah, it is, because our current user base right now is just it's so broad. It's like our youngest, not even youngest, but our smallest designer is this elderly lady out of like Wyoming, of all places. Like, I didn't even think people lived in Wyoming. Sorry if anyone lives in Wyoming. But she's just this amazing person who only does like the weirdest thing. It's window like hardware. It's not even like the drapery component. And she has a single account. She's been with us since day one. And our largest design firm is based out of India, and they handle like huge hospitals and event spaces, and they have 123 employees on our platform. And so literally, like, anyone who just needs to manage a design firm really can use Indema. We're also very customized, so if you don't need everything out of our platform, like all of our features, because we're very much an all-inclusive. Like, if you have the single plan, the same features apply as like our hub plan. We only charge per like a per user situation, and even then you can really customize what you see in the platform, so that way it's not overwhelming or you're not seeing things that you don't necessarily want to use. So we're very broad in what we can handle.
Awesome. I love it. And when I went through the program, I was like, man, this is so good. And the big thing about it, because we also use HubSpot. HubSpot's a little overwhelming. Jill will tell you, like, I am the worst, like, because I know, like, age is not an excuse, but when you get to a certain age, you get like overwhelmed. You're like, and I know a lot of staging business owners, regardless of their age, they get overwhelmed too, because there's so much to learn and you're already doing so much and your capacity is so low, right? So when you took us through this, I was like, this is so easy. Like, everything is right where you need it. It's not like hidden stuff. You don't have to, like, it's super user friendly. And so I'm so excited to share your product with our sphere, our stagers and interior designers. And especially what I really think this is going to be so amazing for is our staging community that stages short-term rentals. Because it really does marry the staging and the interior design nicely. Because when you style or stage a short-term rental, it's to stay, right? Whereas on project management, when you're doing interior design, you're ordering product to go into a home to stay. Staging, you already have the product you put in, and you're going to reuse it. So it's perfect for all of those. And I am so excited for people who have not heard of you to hear of you now. Not only are we going live here in a couple different groups, we've been talking to our members about it. We've been sending out emails. And so I'm really excited for this to just catch wind in the state. I already know interior designers are using it like crazy, but kudos to you for reaching out and saying, hey, how can I make the life of a staging business even easier? Right. And this is the answer.
Yeah, and we're also trying to revolutionize even the scanning process for products too, and trying to figure out what's the most efficient way that designers can generate even like a QR code for a product, and it already be in the system. You just, print your QR code, slap it on the product, and use your like our iOS app to scan it, and it automatically assigns it to where you need to assign it. We're always thinking of like what's the next thing that we could do to either revolutionize what we do in this industry to make our lives a lot easier as business owners and as designers and stagers, but also what can we do to make sure that you guys can focus more on what you love doing, and that's designing and staging, without having to worry about spreadsheets and marrying HubSpot with Microsoft Excel and so on and so forth. So it's really exciting, and we're excited to see what happens in the next couple of years.
Absolutely. I'll tell you,
Yeah,
this is perfect timing because at HSRA, we have multiple levels of membership, from just people who are just getting their feet wet into staging
yeah.
to, running your business to like 6 and 7 figure business. In our Excel membership, we meet every week on a different topic with our staging members teams. So
Hmm.
yesterday we were meeting with the team members of our business owners for logistics, right? And I
Mm.
told them about what you just said. I said, you guys think about this. Literally happened to me on my last travel. I was sitting, in the window seat, and I was looking out and I was watching the guys handle the luggage, which they need to be very much more careful, like literally just throwing things. But there was
Yeah,
a
they
process
just they don't
I
care.
noticed, right? There's 3 people. So when I got to my next stop and got on my next plane, I watched again because I was like, is this a process? There's a process. There's 3 people. There's the person that drives a little trolley and that has the luggage. Okay. I know I don't know why I paid such great attention, maybe for such a time as this. Okay. So there's the guy that drives, or girl that drives the trolley and
Hmm.
watches the luggage. There's another person that's between that person and the person who's scanning the luggage. And they
Yep.
scan every single. So the guy's taking it off. He hands it to the middleman who puts the luggage in such a way that the tag is out so it can be easily scanned so they know where your
Hmm.
luggage is at all points. So thinking about logistics, and one of the big pain points is like forgetting items. Like they literally asked yesterday, how do you make sure all the items are on the truck so that you're not having to go back? Someone shared their list. This is what we do. We mark it off, right? And he had
Hmm.
said a little dot means this. And I was like, see, the little dot can, like, that to me, like, we have to be able to streamline. And I said, we're working with the company, and he is literally, can you imagine standing at the on the loading dock as a piece of furniture comes in, boop,
Hmm.
got it, boop, got it. And then you
Yep.
can literally look at it on your phone and say, okay, is everything on my list checked off? If not, then I immediately know. Versus, it's so crazy on a loading dock in a staging company.
Oh, I'm
Half the
sure.
time you have people unloading one truck, and then you have somebody else loading another truck, and then there's stagers in the warehouse and they're pulling
Yep.
furniture. So it can be very chaotic. But to have just that simple tool, I love that you're
Yeah.
already working on it. I think
And
it's
even
a game changer.
absolutely, and even I'm very, very, like, psychological too, like, when it comes to how we run business and trying to figure out, like, getting in the mind of some people. Like, what I can imagine too, even coming with a solution like that, is you have someone scanning stuff, and instead of them going through the list and saying, "I got this, got this, got this," and, like, kind of having to scroll and figure out what they didn't check, I could just see someone just kind of being a little lazy and just clicking next. And the whole point of getting psychological with it is getting into the mind of those people, those type of people, and say, how can we as a platform minimize that risk? And a simple solution really is, once you click next, it says, "Oops, you forgot, a couple of items," and it lists those items to ensure that they go back to the other screen and properly scan them in. So it's little stuff like that that really, really change, the way that we can work with stages as a platform, to help them become more efficient.
You're a genius. I just love it. I love all of it. That makes me exciting. It's
Yeah,
things that I could never do, but I love talking about them, and I love spurring you
yeah.
on and encouraging you to just like go out there and change the world. It's going to be amazing. So, if you're a stager, interior designer, if you invest or style short-term rentals, you need to check out Timothy. You need to check out his platform, Indema. Jill's going to put it in the comments here for everyone
Mhm.
to reach out to you. Tell them that Laurie sent you, HSRA sent you when you reach out. And so this has been fantastic. We'll definitely be
Yeah.
back on again. Maybe when you launch a new, what do you call it, like tool on Indema, we can go through that. Maybe next time, put in the
Yeah.
comments if you guys want to see a walkthrough of the actual product, and we will get Timothy back on here and do some more fun stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Timothy, for your time.
Thank you.
Super
Appreciate it.
excited. Can't wait to hopefully see you in person at Summit. Definitely have to come and
Yes.
be there with us. So excited for that as well. And we will see you guys all next time. Don't stop watching now. There's going to be a video we want you to check out. But until then, we will see you next time.
Take care, guys.
Starting a home staging business can be tough, but the good news is we're here to help. That's why we've created the Business Bundle Workshop. It's actually a 4-part mastermind series that's going to address any of the challenges with the 4 main departments in your staging business. It's marketing, sales, services, and logistics. If you're looking to start a business or maximize the growth of your business, this is where you need to be. Register now and join us for this 4 mastermind series. We're going to help you pinpoint the challenges and optimize your growth. Get your ticket today.